Hi, my dear children. Good morning. Welcome back to our chemistry class. In the last class, you have studied about atomic mass, how atom exists, and finally about molecules. Okay, what is meant by molecule? Yes, molecule is defined as the smallest particle of an element or a compound. It has an independent existence and it shows all the properties of that element or a compound. അതായത് molecule എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ it is a smallest particle of an element or a compound. Atom is also a very smallest particle but it does not have independent existence. Okay, but molecules have independent existence and it shows all the properties of that particular element or compound. Example, oxygen molecule. It shows all the properties of that particular element, oxygen. Oxygen is a non-metal and oxygen molecule that shows all the properties, all the physical and chemical properties of that particular element. Then carbon dioxide is a compound and the molecule of carbon dioxide that also shows all the properties of that carbon dioxide. Okay, atoms are the very smallest particles of matter and it does not have independent existence but molecules have independent existence. Carbon dioxide molecule and oxygen molecule. Water is a compound. Water molecules shows all the properties of that water. Okay, then we are going to learn more detail about molecules. First of all, molecules of elements. Okay, I already said about molecules. Molecules are the smallest particles. Molecules of element means smallest particle of that element. We know that elements are classified into three: metals, non-metals and metalloids. Okay, first one, molecules of elements. Molecules of elements. We know that elements are classified into three: metals, non-metals and metalloids. You will study more about from 10th standard. Okay. So, molecules of elements. We know that so many elements are present in our atmosphere. They are non-metals. That is oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen. All are elements. Okay. Then molecules of that elements means the smallest particle of that element and it has independent existence and it shows all the properties of that particular element. Children, molecules of elements are constituted by the same type of atoms. Example, oxygen. Oxygen is an element. We are using that oxygen gas for breathing. It is a non-metal. Okay. Oxygen is an element. Its molecule contains or that element contains only oxygen atoms. Okay. Like that, hydrogen. Another element, hydrogen. Hydrogen molecule also contains hydrogen atoms. Carbon, another non-metal. Carbon, its molecule contains only carbon atoms. So, molecules of elements are constituted by the same type of atoms. Okay. Some elements are made from only one atom or some molecules contain only one atom. They are known as monoatomic molecule. Monoatomic molecule. Some elements or some molecules of elements contains only one atom. or some elements are made up of only one atom. They are known as monoatomic molecule. Example, argon, helium. These are examples for monoatomic molecule. That is, that molecule contain only one atom. Okay. Some molecules of elements are made from two atoms. They are diatomic molecules. Diatomic molecules. Diatomic molecules. Examples, oxygen. Oxygen contains two oxygen atoms. Oxygen molecule contains two oxygen atom, that is O2. Oxygen molecules contain two oxygen atom. It is a diatomic molecule. It is a diatomic molecule. Hydrogen. Hydrogen also diatomic molecule. Diatomic molecule. Then nitrogen. Nitrogen is another example for diatomic molecule. Nitrogen molecule contains two nitrogen atoms. Hydrogen molecule contains two hydrogen atoms. So these are diatomic molecules. These are examples for diatomic molecules. These are monoatomic molecules. These molecules contain only one atom of that particular element. Okay. Then do you know O3? What is mean by O3? This is ozone. Ozone. O3. Ozone. It contains three oxygen atoms. Three oxygen atom, that is ozone. Triatomic molecule. This is triatomic molecule. You can see here oxygen. We are using oxygen gas for breathing. It is diatomic molecule. But when adding three atoms of oxygen together, that forms ozone. Ozone is the protective layer of Earth. So it is triatomic molecule. It is triatomic molecule. Ozone contains three atoms of oxygen. Ozone contains three atoms of oxygen. Then phosphorus, another non-metal. It contains four atoms of phosphorus. P4. Then sulfur. Sulfur contains 8 atoms of sulfur. Sulfur molecules contain 8 atoms of sulfur. So they are polyatomic molecules. They are polyatomic molecules. P4, sulfur, phosphorus and sulfur are polyatomic molecules. Monoatomic molecules, diatomic molecules. Monoatomic molecules means it contains only one atom of that particular element. Diatomic molecules means it formed from two atoms of that element. Triatomic molecules means it contains three atoms. Then polyatomic molecules means it contains more than three atoms of that particular element. Okay, so molecules are of different types according to the formation or the number of atoms present in it. Children, the number of atoms present in the molecule, it is noted by atomicity. What it is? Atomicity. Atomicity means the number of atoms present in each molecule. Atomicity, that noted the number of atoms present in each molecule. Here, argon only one atom. So, its atomicity is 1. Atomicity means the number of atoms present in a particular molecule. Here, argon, monoatomic molecules, its atomicity is 1. Okay. Then what about diatomic molecules? What is the atomicity of diatomic molecules? Yes, the atomicity of diatomic molecules is 2 because it contains 2 atoms. Then what about triatomic molecules? Yes, its atomicity is 3. Then polyatomic molecules, it contains more than 3 atoms of that particular element. So, atomicity is the number of atoms present in each molecule. That is noted by That is termed as atomicity. Okay. Children, next one, molecules of compounds. Molecules of compounds. We know that compounds are formed by the combination of or formation. Children, next one, molecules of compounds. We know that compounds are formed from different elements. They are joined in a definite proportion. Okay. Or two or more atoms are joined together in a definite proportion. That is, children, next, molecules of compounds. Atoms of different elements are joined in a definite proportion. Compounds are formed. We know that compounds contain more than one element, that is, they contains different types of atoms, isn't it? Molecules of elements are constituted by the same type of atoms, but molecules of compounds are constituted by the different types of atoms, because atoms of different elements are combined in a particular ratio. Compounds are formed or definite proportion. The atoms of different molecules, different elements are combined in a definite proportion. Then only compounds are formed. Okay, that is the difference between molecules of element and molecules of compound. Molecules of elements constituted by the same type of atoms, but molecules of compound constituted the different types of atoms. Listen here, I will write the examples for different compounds. First of all, water. Water is a compound. It contains hydrogen atoms and oxygen atom. Okay, so it contains different types of atoms. It is a compound. Here, hydrogen and oxygen combined in the ratio 1:8. It is the ratio by mass. It is the ratio by mass. Here, hydrogen oxygen ratio is 1:8. This ratio, the hydrogen and oxygen combined in this ratio, water formed. Water form ചെയ്യണമെങ്കിൽ ഹൈഡ്രജനും ഓക്സിജനും 1:8 എന്ന റേഷ്യോയിൽ കമ്പൈൻ ചെയ്യണം. റേഷ്യോ ബൈ മാസ്, ഇതിൻ്റെ മാസ് ആണ് കേട്ടോ പറയുന്നത്, ഹൈഡ്രജൻ്റെയും oxygen. The ratio by mass is 1:8, then only water is formed. Okay, another compound is ammonia. Ammonia contains nitrogen atom and hydrogen atoms. Here, nitrogen and hydrogen ratio is 14:3. This is the ratio by mass. Then only the ammonia is formed from nitrogen and hydrogen. When nitrogen and hydrogen are combined by the ratio by mass is 14:3, then ammonia is formed. Then what about carbon dioxide? Yes, carbon dioxide is another compound. Here you can see the atoms are carbon and oxygen, and its ratio, the combining ratio will be 3:8. This is the ratio of carbon and oxygen. So, this is molecules of compounds. Here, water, ammonia and carbon dioxide, they are combined in a definite proportion by mass. Then only these compounds are formed in a fixed proportion. We already learned about the law of constant proportions. What it say that? Yes, the compound is formed only the elements are combined in a particular ratio. So, this is the molecules of compounds. Next topic is ions. Children, compounds composed of metals and non-metals contain charged species. Compounds composed of metals and non-metals contain charged species or charged particles. The charged species are known as ions. Charged species are known as ions. Okay. It may be that charged species, it may be positive or negative charges. Positively charged ions are known as cation. Positively charged ions are known as cation. That is positively charged ion. Positive ions are known as, positive charged species are known as cation. Then anion means negatively charged ion. Negative ions. Anion. Compounds having charged species. Some compounds are formed from metals and non-metals. Then they are charged species. It may be positively or negatively charged species. Positively charged ions are known as cations. Negatively charged ions are known as anions. Then they combined together. Then that neutralize the effect of positive and negative, or that cancel the effect of positive and negative, and it exists as a compound. So its charge should be 0. Okay, we can check one example. Sodium chloride. Sodium chloride is an ionic compound. Sodium chloride is an ionic compound because it contains sodium cation and chlorine anion. Here you can see sodium is positively charged species and chlorine is a negatively charged species. Here sodium is a metal and chlorine is a non-metal. Sodium metal combined with a chlorine non-metal to form sodium chloride. This is an ionic compound. Here sodium is a positive ion. Sodium is a positive ion and chlorine is a negative ion. Okay. Another one is calcium chloride. Calcium chloride is another ionic compound. Here calcium is the metal and chlorine is a non-metal. So Ca2 plus, that is the charge of calcium. Then Cl2 minus, because here 2 chlorine gas, or we can write it like that, 1 minus 2 Cl are there. 1 minus, or just we can write the minus charge only there. Ca2 plus Cl2 minus. This is the charge of calcium and chlorine. So you can see 2 plus and 2 minus, that cancelled each other, though no effect, no charge effect on that compound. That is this is CaCl2. This is a ionic compound. Okay. Children, some compound contains polyatomic ions. You can look here. CaOH twice, calcium hydroxide, or NaOH, sodium hydroxide. Here you can see sodium and OH. Sodium and OH. OH means hydroxyl group. Hydroxyl group. Here you can see that Na plus OH minus. Na plus and OH minus. So here you can see a group of atoms having a charge. This is known as polyatomic ions. Polyatomic ions. Polyatomic ions. Children, here we can see two atoms and they are having one charge. So, it is known as polyatomic ions. Sodium hydroxide. It is an ionic compound. Here, sodium is a cation and hydroxyl group. It has the charge negative, but in hydroxyl means there are two atoms, oxygen and hydrogen, and together it have a negative charge. So, a group of atoms having a particular charge, it is known as polyatomic ions. Polyatomic ions. Here also OH 2 minus. Then only the charge will cancel each other. Here Ca2 plus, here OH 2 minus. Here also a polyatomic ion, that is OH, hydroxyl group. So this kind of atoms, ions are known as polyatomic ions. Ions means charged species, some compounds containing metals and non-metals. They are forming charged species. Positively charged ions are known as cations. Negatively charged ions are known as anions. Okay, so these are the examples for ionic compounds. Sodium chloride, calcium hydroxide, magnesium hydroxide. All are examples for ionic compounds. Children, today we are learning, learned about molecules of elements and molecules of compounds, and finally about ions. In the next class, we will be learning about how to write a chemical formula. It is very important. So before that, you should know about the ions or charges of the particular atoms or group of atoms. So let us wind up the session. Thank you. Have a nice day.